Not, Parker.
Surely not.
I will say, Nesk has had a bit of a quiet tournament compared to how he's usually been performing over the last couple of years. Aside from his hard support captain of Lagonis, he has actually had the fewest kills of any of his teammates this tournament, so we still expect him to hit 10 on Nighthaven Labs, if not later on in the series, but yeah, we'll have to keep count on that for Nesk. Of course, 990, his current kill total. And Parker, before we get into this game, I gotta say, I remember 1 year ago in Sao Paulo, when Team Liquid and M80 faced off against each other on the final day of groups, just like they are now. I was working the desk for that game a year ago, and I remember that that was one of the, if not the, most depressing games of Rainbow Six Siege I have ever watched. Because M80 at that point in time were already mathematically limited. They didn't win a single game, and they frankly showed up to that game looking limp and already defeated before it even began. Now, a year later, we see the exact same spot, final day of groups, Liquid versus M80, but we're in a whole different ballgame. M80 looking rejuvenated, already typing in the chat. There's no signs of depression anywhere near these players, so they're getting excited because they know that upper bracket is on the line. M80 taking out Monty and Fenrir this round, and Liquid banning out the Nook of all operators alongside the Kaid. Liquid, a team that are often very difficult to predict what they're going to ban out. They definitely kept it interesting today. Those two operators not on my board for what I thought they'd be removing. On the side of M80, they will choose to remove that shield of Lagonis, but at least for the first round, he's going to start by showing off a different shield instead. One last thing to highlight before we get into this game. Team Liquid got to choose their starting side. They chose attack. That is not because they favor attack. That is because they always choose to start on attack when going into these games. They think it gets them more energized, and they think it helps them out starting on the harder side.
Just talked about it in the pre-show, but just in case you missed the pre-show somehow, we'll instead talk about the groups just to fill some time.
Yeah.
So our observer for the match is Red Lake. As you can see at the top of your screen, I love that we've been giving a shout out to our observers. They are just as much of an important part of this talent group as we, the casters, are, our analysts, and all of our hosts, except for Manic Monday, are.
Yep.
Every single person comes together to put forward a good product, and the observers are included in that. We wouldn't be where we are without the good observing. This is Group A that we're watching. G2 Esports has claimed their spot at the top of the group. Team Joel was eliminated 2 days ago. They were the first team that we said goodbye to. Yesterday, we said goodbye to Scars as well. Now, they're still here. They haven't gone home just yet, but they won't be advancing any farther into the tournament. Team Liquid does find themselves on the bottom of the group, though, Jesse.
Yeah.
Trailing Unwanted by 2 points. The Brazilian team will be chasing 2 records. Palu is about 44 kills, I believe, away from breaching 1,000. Nesk is 10 away, and Lagonis is off to the races. Diffuser will greet him head on first and foremost. Resets and Palu on the board for Liquid. M80 found 2 kills of their own. Nesk gets it down, but cannot secure for the time being. Packer not retrievable. Nesk with 1. How about another? And now it's all up to Kino. It's all Brazilians left alive at the moment. Maya pulls off the diffuser. Nesk beheaded by Kino. A clutch is definitely possible, Jesse, but not when you lean against the door the wrong way. Maya will let the Adrenal Surge run off. It still has 60 bullets to Kino's 17, but it doesn't matter how many you have. You send a Brazilian to deal with the Brazilians, and Kino clutches it out for M80 on round number 1.
That's a cheeky smile right on his face. He knows what he's done.
Oh my God!
Kino stepping out big time here in the very first round for M80.
Why is he going wide on Kino?
Dude, Kino's been so fantastic all tournament. This has been, in my opinion, the best tournament of Kino's career. He's playing so well throughout the tournament. In that round specifically, obviously stepping up huge for the 1v2. One of the best SAF players in the entire game. The way that he believes in that shotgun SMG-11 combo is the difference maker time and time again for M80, stepping up big, and it's just clean. Just clean recoil control with that SMG-11. Goes for the peak, managed to hit that shot every single time. Dude, how do you say it better than that? He is so good, and Diffuser already hyping up his teammates. I gotta say, bro, this is a night and day difference from M80. The energy that we see from this squad compared to last year at SI. What a difference. Big round coming out from Kino with the 3K. 2 from Nesk, and I thought his entry was fantastic getting into sight there. It's a little unfortunate that Lagonas went down immediately on that blitz, and you got to imagine with a bit of a better entry, that does go their way, but that was a coin flip round. Could have gone either direction. Kino just happened to be better on the first round of the day, and I think that's going to be the difference maker, Parker. Between both Liquid and M80, it feels like the star players on M80, it feels like all 4 of their main fraggers are showing up here at the Six Invitational, whereas Liquid have had a few more quiet performances from their individuals. So if they're not able to start off strong, that could be a huge problem, and it's particularly a huge problem for that start because Team Liquid need a 2-0 here to lock themselves into the upper bracket. With a win of 2-1, they could still end up in the upper bracket. It will depend on games later today. But if they want to take things into their own hands and make sure that they're in that upper bracket, they need a 2-0 over M80.
G2 play today, by the way. I don't know outside of our game.
I believe G2 are. No, I think they do play.
It's Joel who has the day off.
Right.
So Team Joel's numbers are locked in. They've played all of their matches. They lost to Liquid 0-2. They lost to M80 0-2. They lost to Unwanted 0-2. They lost to G2 0-2. The Goyo of Spoit engaged with Maya, and Spoit is distracted. I don't think he knew that somebody was so close. Diffuser will falter as well. Scoreline is 1-0 for M80, but Team Liquid had full control that round until the post plant. We're seeing the same thing happen now here in round number 2. Resets dies to Gunner on the roam. Keep numbers close as we hit the halfway point of the round. Liquid was in control in round 1. They seem to be in a very similar position here and now. Down goes Kino to Nesk. Kino can't clutch again. Ivy's as good as dead. Palu onto Gunner, and well, it's all up to Packer. Packer had a rough start to the tournament, but has continued to improve as time has gone on.
For sure.
4 players from Team Liquid now that he has to deal with.
That's kind of highlighted how he's been on the up and up. Every single game he's been better than the last. Can't get it done today, though. Maya finds his 3rd on the round. Maya has been an amazing entry player for Team Liquid. You saw the 2K in through storage in that round. He actually is contributing to Team Liquid being the best entry team at the entire tournament. Despite their struggles so far, they have a 61% success rate on the opening pick, and a large part of that comes from Maya, who's been taking the vast majority of their opening gunfights. He's usually doing an attack on that Deimos where he's running in and he's making some big plays. But doing it on the Twitch and doing it on the Finka so far, we got an early tack timeout from Bodega.
From M80, yeah, that's not what I expected. It very easily could have been a 2-0, though. That first round was won by a Kino clutch.
True. I mean, they're finding that Liquid are coming in very, very quickly these last couple of rounds. Into the bomb site immediately with that blitz round number 1, and then into storage immediately round number 2. And both times, I think M80 got a little caught off guard.
Sure that, like, when we're playing positions close to each other, Willie and D, make sure you guys are common to each other. We need you guys fighting together.
It's a great point by Packer. When they were up on that roam game, Spoit looked a little bit lost for that first gunfight. Diffuser was right next to him, and Diffuser wasn't able to get that trade. They both ended up going down to Maya. We'll see the replay of it here. There's Spoit dying, and then right afterwards, Diffuser dies. And that's kind of what Packer wants his teammates to try to avoid. Obviously, the young IGL. The desk highlighted how much pressure is on his shoulders to head into this game, and all tournament long, he's been put in a tough spot, but been stepping up for his teammates. Not the greatest of starts, and I'm a little bit surprised they wanted to burn that tack time out so early, but if Bodega sees a problem and he can address it, it's better to address it now than later, right? It's better to get those problems worked out so that you don't have to worry about it going forward. I think just getting a little bit more ready in those early rounds is going to really do M80 some good going forward. So I don't mind that tack time out from Bodega, but it may hurt if we get down to like round 11, round 12, and M80 are desperate for attack and they can't take one. We go to the 3rd bomb site now of storage, which is of course going to be every team's tertiary site on this map. it is okay. It's an okay bomb site. It is often very easy to plant inside that storage window if you can control basement and the IT breach. We do see teams go for full clears top floor sometimes for control plants as well. But kitchen is just so tough to hold for a lot of teams that it's really not worth trying. So there are some strong strategies for the attack on this site, but often it does end up being a forced hand. M80 choosing not to repeat on the basement, which I think would have been a fine selection as well.
We're going to be on Nesk watch for most of this series as he now sits at 993 kills. 7 off of being the first player to break 1,000 kills at the Six Invitational. Really is quite an absurd tally when you think about it. It's even more absurd that with all of these kills, Nesk has never won the big one.
Yeah.
They've never even won a major, Jesse. Like,
yeah.
It is crazy to think that with the legacy that Nesk and Palu will leave, that the only thing that they were able to muster was an OGA pit win for Palu and the Atlantic City win for Nesk. Leonis is in. Everybody is still up, right? Diffuser at the halfway point. Nesk over top eliminates Kino. And Lagonis should be able to get out of there lickety-split. Palu with 1 kill, Diffuser 1 as well. But the numbers for M80 will continue to trickle downwards. As Diffuser and Packer have the tough task of hopping onto that Diffuser that is very visible by the window. Nesk is also watching from above. He'll get smoked out on the upside-down rappel. Palu's doing all the killing for Nesk, and Lagonis guided that Diffuser in the first place. Will get the final kill. M80 called their timeout because there were some things they did not like. It does not surprise me in the slightest that things will continue to go badly for them. A lot of times, teams cannot immediately action upon that change, that timeout. Also worth noting that Liquid gets to talk during the timeout too. An excellent execute. They exploit a blind spot in the defense for M80. Jump in and go for the very default plant and then get out of there.
M80 asleep at the wheel a little bit there. I mean, the diffuse kit just coming in through storage. That was actually all of M80 during that round, Parker.
That's team comps. That's live team comps.
You did a great impression.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, Kino was obviously the guy playing inside the site. Should have been the one to call that out, but he was a little bit distracted. Ness got that opening pick onto Kino as he was playing kind of back inside of control rather than directly inside of storage itself. But, I mean, I think the plant going down so early from Team Liquid when they didn't really have that much map control, I think it was pretty much just the IT wall that had been opened up by Palu. They had drones down below to confirm that it couldn't get nitroed from that vertical, and so Team Liquid in 90 seconds assessed that, hey guys, we have everything we need. Let's go hit the site. There's nothing stopping us here. M80 maybe just need to be a little bit more aware of what's going on from Team Liquid, that possibility is there. Even if we're early in the round, they can go for plays like that. So something to watch out for M80 going forward. It's been a rough start for them. Even that first round could have easily gone for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it could be a 3-0. And I think M80 has that in the back of their mind, especially on their own map. Now, if you look at the way that Nighthaven Labs is shaking out between these teams, Liquid could be up 3-0, which would be a huge boon for the attackers. Nighthaven Labs is pretty close to a 50-50 map. 53 rounds have been played. 53% of the rounds have been won by the defenders. 47% by the attackers. So, like every other map except for Clubhouse at the moment, this map skews towards the defenders. That's bad news for M80. This is your map. You're on the better side. Liquid always starts attack, like you said. They've given you a huge gift, which is that you get to run up the score on the easier side, and right now you're failing to do that.
And as the desk highlighted, Liquid are a much better defending team than they are an attacking team. So you've got to imagine when they swap those sides, Liquid are going to be in for a treat.
All of that has to play into why that early timeout was called by
True
as well.
No, that's a great point. I mean, M80 are very aware of the stakes. They're very aware of how Team Liquid like to play as a team, and so they know how important it is to go up early on this first half. Team Liquid, looking for their third, are going to go for a connector side push, and they find an opening. Ness just walks in.
And he gets shot away at from two separate players. Maya dropped as well as Packer hits the deck. Both of these teams at 3 apiece. Diffuser, terrific so far through this round, and now it's a 2v2. You're gonna need more out of him. Kino clutched on this bomb site before, and he is target number 1 for Team Liquid. Resets and Lagonis both engaging in some gunfire as Diffuser is trapped behind the bomb chassis. Lagonis wins it this time. No clutch attempt for Kino, and it's done with the sidearm for Liquid. They get their revenge on this bomb site, 3-1 for the Brazilians.
I believe they call him Lagoatness.
I've
from
heard
time
that.
to time.
I've heard that.
And clutches like that are exactly why he's earned that title. Fantastic play in the late round. He has consistently been Team Liquid's most clutch player, winning 40% of his clutches through the tournament prior to this matchup. That percentage will only go up after round number 4. Beautifully played. He's not often a player we talk about as having insane mechanics or insane aim. He's not on this team to get a bunch of kills. He actually has the lowest headshot percentage of any player at this event, and headshot percentage is not the greatest metric in Siege to define individual skill, but it does kind of tell a bit of a story as to who's aiming for the head and who's getting mostly body shots. And I think for Lagonas to step up, get a big clutch like that, it's got to be confidence inspiring for a Team Liquid that are already feeling good at the start of this game. Lagonas has been so consistent for this team, maybe not in the fragging, but in his planting. He's got the most plants on the team, of course, and then also just with his decision-making and shot calling. When he first joined this team, he was a very young IGL, just like Packer is today. Now Lagonas is a few years under his belt, coaching this or leading this team, and they've got a whole lot of trust in him. He's proven himself time and time again. 3-1 now for Team Liquid as M80. You've got to be a little bit worried about the mental. They were so loud after Kino clutched round number 1. I haven't heard much of that recently, though.
Not a lot of good signs on the side of M80 so far on their own map. This is not the start that they wanted, especially as the desk before the show highlighted how much better M80 is getting over time. Just consistent improvement. Their EPS has trended upwards in every single matchup that they've played. Terrific stuff by them, but eventually at some point you gotta lose, right? Every team loses once or twice.
Spoit 1-4. He needs a good start to this round. Start to claw things back.
He's been having a very slow event.
He has, seriously. It's been weird how poor Spoit has been.
I think we talked about this yesterday as Gunner and Resets come to blows. Lagonas dies. That's the Blackbeard down. A huge first pick for M80. We talked an awful lot about Nesk and Palu, but what about Maya? He's just as much of an offensive threat. The 3 tips of this Liquid Spear all now sitting at 5 kills. 15 kills across 4 completed rounds is great stuff. Spoit will be 1-5, Gunner 2-5. These are bad numbers for players who you expect to get kills. We talked about this in the unwanted matchup that M80 now also has more offensive threats. So Spoit is not needed to carry as much as he has before, though it's still nice when he's able to do his thing. 6 kills for Nesk, that's all she wrote, because Diffuser has been so good at trading back for this M80 team. He very narrowly loses his life. He stays alive for the time being. It's him and Kino again. As the remainder of Diffuser is spotted, heard by the Logic Bomb as he's inside a cafeteria, and he gets swung up on by Palu. Liquid 3v1, the scoreline 3v1, and it very easily could be a 4-0 for Liquid at this point. Plenty of time now to rotate and get to the bomb site with 45 seconds left.
The most clutch player on M80. They're going to need some big stuff out of him once again. He's already shown what he can do in round number 1. He's going to have to be the hero for M80 this round. Destroying his cameras. He knows that Palu is on the Dokkaebi and has hacked those, but the opponents will actually have all of that information from the Valkyrie and Oliver Util. It's the half play from Resets, though. Kino doesn't even have a chance as he tries to reposition down inside of the site. And it is an easy round for Team Liquid. I'm surprised they committed so much to fighting on that roam game again from M80 because it did not go their way.
They're bringing info ops, too. Like, it's not like they're absent operators that can spot Team Liquid coming. They're bringing the Valkyrie. They're bringing those bulletproof cameras. They're bringing Legion, who works as an intel op, because of the Gumites giving away info when you step on them. And yet, time after time, it seems like M80 is just consistently lost as to where Liquid is approaching from.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does come down to Maya's entry in the top floor once again. He's taken 40% of all attacking opening engagements for Team Liquid this event. He's a big reason why they're the best opening pick team in the entire tournament so far. His entry, walking in, it wasn't technically the first kill, but walking in and taking down Spoit on that top floor really set things in motion for Liquid. I liked Gunner's trade to go 1-for-1. He took down a Blackbeard. I think that's a hugely important pick. But then Spoit goes down with nothing in return. That forces Packer to make a difficult decision. He steps up and tries to take a fight. Unfortunately, can't hit those shots. And at that point, it's a 2-man advantage. The Team Liquid can kind of spiral out of control, even though it did immediately get traded. That advantage was just too wide for M80 to pull back from. They are in danger of going down 5-1 on the first half, defending Night Haven Labs on their map pick, Parker.
A bad attacking team that likes to start on attack, Team Liquid. Much better as defenders. On right now, admittedly, a coin flip map, but one that skews towards the defenders.
Yep.
And this is M80's map.
Yep.
How many more things need to go wrong here? And depending on what happens, it very easily could have been mentally a 6-0 first half.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, too. The stakes are high for Liquid this game. They're also important for M80. If they lose this series against Liquid, then later today, they could find themselves in the lower bracket of the Six Invitational based on what Unwanted can do later today. Even though they beat Unwanted yesterday, Unwanted have the opportunity to vault over M80 in the standings if M80 lose this game. So you do not want to be in a position where you're going down to that lower bracket. You only have one life in playoffs. Good opening pick from Diffuser.
That's huge. Diffuser's been the only person who's suited up into the server so far today. I guess you could say Kino in round number 1, single-handedly winning that. Diffuser plays that a little bit too quickly, and Lagonas punishes him for it. Down he goes, the clash of Kino, still able to get away from this position. Kino infamous for his shields on attack. The clash as a defender, well, it did some work. Uh-oh. The jig is up, Nesk. And yet Spoit still dies.
That's tough. Does he get 2 here?
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Kino, we're in trouble.
He has legs! Shoot his legs!
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
He's crouch walking away so slowly. He's like a crab. Ness walks in a triple kill. How about the quadra kill? Oh my goodness.
And with that, Nesk should do it. 1,000 kills at the Six Invitational across all tournaments. Congratulations, Nesk.
That was a nice crown. You think he got it fitted before the event? Or?
They were ready with that. That's a beautiful play, and it comes with such an impactful round. That 4K from Nesk. I was a little worried he'd hit the record on some wimpy like mid-round kill that was impactless and didn't matter, but no, it's a brilliant 4K that caps it off. Awesome.
I can't believe he does it all in one round.
Yeah, I mean, beauty does it. That's exactly why he's often known as the GOAT in Brazil, despite the fact that he hasn't won anything in quite a long time. You gotta question some of the plays from M80 in this round. Kino on that clash. Yeah, I don't know about pulling out the gun there. It feels like he had no hope of getting out alive. Spoit, of course, should have had the advantage swinging that, but Nesk was so ready for it. That was a tough shot for Spoit to hit.
This feels like a moment where in traditional sports, once you hit that milestone, we take a pause and we acknowledge how good of a performance you get for one player, like when somebody in the NBA or the NHL hits a certain milestone. Nesk is indisputably one of the best players to ever play this game, to ever touch Rainbow Six Siege. He has made this esports scene stronger. He has made Brazil better. What an impressive tally. 1,000 kills at the Six Invitational, the first player to get it done. And depending on how the remainder of their run goes, he might not be the only one to hit that metric. Cyber is also chasing that kill total. It's very likely that Nesk and Palu and Cyber all hit it in the same event. Palu's got 6 kills, by the way. He's only about 40 away. A long best of 3. Palu playing like Palu can play, and you get very close to that lucky number of 1,000.
It would be poetic for Nesk and Palu to hit 1,000 kills in the same game. Plenty to go, and our analysts will keep us up to date on that throughout the series.
There's only one thing that will complicate the matter. M80 needs to play better, so we need a longer game.
Yeah.
And I don't even say that to be rude. I say that because the way M80 is played right now, there's just simply not going to be enough rounds for Palu to get to that kill total.
And I gotta say, Parker, over 60 seconds to get the IT wall open on the top floor is behind pace for M80. They need a strong attacking half, and this is not the greatest of starts. They're angling over towards Aqua. Packer on this blitz. If he can make some movement, that'll be huge. Caught on the bulletproof camera and now starting to find some players. They've opened up this wall on the left, so they've got a crossfire. And with that information, Packer decides it's not worth my time. I've got to go find a different entry point.
Spoit on the board this round, the first player from M80 to strike first. Now he's poised up at top fish, waiting for potential other player to move around. Packer took a bit of damage. Maya eliminating Kino as Packer had unfortunately baited him in. The 2 black mirrors that were set down by Lagonis earlier no longer factors at the moment. There goes the swarm of bees as a shotgun is pointed and ready to do some damage to the Blitz. But for now, Packer seems quite impervious. Gunner falls. Spoit is also gone. Nest with 2 more. Lagonis and Maya on the board, and they are speed running this Nighthaven Labs. What is going on with M80? If Kino did not pull a horseshoe out of you-know-where on round number 1, this is a 7-0 victory for Team Liquid. Instead, they're gonna have to wait one more round, but a 6-1 scoreline is fantastic.
There's no other way to say it, Parker. This game's been a disaster. In that round, I mean, M80 didn't seem to know what they wanted to do. They started with an Aqua side push with the Blitz, and then Packer chose to swap sides, but M80 were very split in that final execute. They had 2 players that were still pushing in through Aqua, and then 2 players that went over towards Connector. That allowed Nesk to isolate the Aqua players who really weren't facing very favorable angles. So Nesk got 2 picks on one side of the map, then the Blitz play over on the other side of the map didn't do anything. M80 struggling to work together both on the roam in the early game and now here on the attack as well, struggling to be able to coordinate some of these late rounds. Might be a point where you think GG go next for M80. They're not in as bad of a spot as Liquid. They only actually need 1 map win to secure the upper bracket. They would still like 2nd place over 3rd because there's a small advantage in 2nd in that you get to choose your opponent. You get to choose which of the 3rd place teams you play in the 1st round. But I mean, for M80 with the way they're playing right now, getting 2nd is the farthest thing from their minds. You gotta lock in and win map, like a single map first.
Yeah, you just gotta get out of this game first, right?
Yes, absolutely.
G2 playing Unwanted is going to be a game. There's tons of fireworks later on. They're not in action at the moment. Oh, Maya's there to greet Packer, who pulls out his gun at the wrong time, and now Maya's on the ground looking for yet another cacophony of sounds over top of the bomb site as Lagonis fights back, and Maya second guesses himself on the vault in, but a Nitro Cell is there for insurance. Palu blows up Kino. And now the advantage for Team Liquid. 3v2.
And notice the difference. M80, they jump at the same window that Liquid jumped into to try to entry, but Team Liquid are all playing together. There's Nitros from down below. All 5 players, even the ones that aren't on the roam, are contributing to that early round. They're able to trade each other out and have that teamwork. Now with its man advantage, Team Liquid can just sit inside the site, hold their staircases. It's gonna be Palu on the cargo stairs. Lagonis was vending, but he's fallen off at this point. M80 will have plenty of time and defuse kit and good soft breach, so this is still a winnable round, but they're gonna need some big moments to come out of the former players of Cloud9 Beast Coast, Gunner and Diffuser. What can they get done here?
At least you got 2 players with great synergy, good comms, and ability to play off of each other.
For sure.
You hear the 1 boogie drone going, there's another in back pocket. Gunner uses his very first logic bomb. So there are tools that M80 can use, but Liquid has access to them as well. 1 Kiba barrier in pocket of Lagonis, and those flashbangs won't make much difference for Palu if he engages the smart glasses.
That was an insane angle with the mirror window, my goodness.
Gunner now inside of Exo, taking an awful lot of damage through that kill hole that was made by resets. In a position where if he had Diffuser, he could go for the plant, but now it's Diffuser with Diffuser trying to get the Diffuser down, but Liquid are making sure that Diffuser does not get down by downing Diffuser. Diffuser takes down Palu. And with Diffuser in hand, he's on the typical Diffuser spot. I'm just having fun. To keep their hopes alive in their own map, Diffuser creeps up, and he gets taken out by Lagonis. You could say it was 8 rounds that should have been won by Team Liquid, but a 7-1 scoreline sends us away. We just got into the server 29 minutes ago, and we are already saying goodbye to map 1.
Very kind of production to let us watch the warm-up for Team Liquid. I'm sure they'll be right and ready for their game against M80 as soon as M80 show up. What a dominant first map, 7-1. It does not get more insane than that. And of course, the only round that they won coming off a 1v2 clutch from Kino that probably shouldn't have even gone his way if not for some heroics.
Nesk with 1,000 kills. That's the real storyline of map number 1. I know our analysts are going to want to break down that series. So let's toss it to them after this break.
Keep an eye out for contact.
Available now.
blink and you miss it type of action. Liquid show up in a huge way on Nighthaven Labs, and M80 are left absolutely bamboozled. I mean, Jack, this is what we have been waiting for from Liquid.
Yeah, M80's only round been that 1v2 clutch that Kino got. It started
1v3 even.
1v3, I said, you know, it started off well, I guess, because they got their clutch, and it went very badly for them because Liquid, well, they chose to start attack Leo in the map veto because obviously M80 picked the map. Liquid choose the starter side. They chose the unfavorable side, and they went out and absolutely dominated a 5-1 attack split.
M80 tried to react. They brought the clash. They tried to play aggressive. They tried to be a little bit more annoying, trying to disrupt the pace of Liquid. Nothing worked. I'm so impressed by Liquid's attacks. We started by saying that these guys, that was the weaker side, and they've showed us that they can prove, they proved their story, that they can attack properly. Nesk, amazing match. And as we mentioned, I think he had that 1,000 kills at SI target in his head.
He certainly did, and you could see it. It was a moment that I am sure we will be looking back on as a monumental moment in Siege, and also just for Nesk as a player. I mean, what a fantastic milestone to hit. I'll keep it game related just for now, Jack. I think my question to you would be, with a player like Nesk hitting the mark, EPS is out of this world, where do M80 go from here?
Yeah, I think it's tricky for them because they really didn't show up. Like, let's be honest, they looked quite asleep at the wheel, and Team Liquid looked like they were really, really hungry for their upper bracket. I think they've turned the pressure into a big positive for them because they came out, they made some bold choices, you know, with the operator bans, with starting attack, and they basically proved, we were sat here doubting them in the pre-game, right, Leo? And they've proved us wrong. They've shown that they do have it.
This looks like a preset plan that is really well thought, and a perfect execution of it. They knew that pace was a big problem for them. Do you see them bring Thatcher, open up the walls very quickly, bring Grim with mini EMPs, open the walls very quickly again, try to get as much control as quickly as possible. Some really good rushes on round 3 that rush onto this TV bomb site as well. Super good play. I think in general, they had so many layers to their attacks. So impressive to watch.
One thing I will say is we don't very often reach milestones like this. It's the first of its kind. I agree with Parker, which doesn't happen very often. We need to take a moment to sit in that and just understand what an achievement it truly was.
Boy. Oh, boy.
He's crouch walking away so slowly. He's like a crab. Nesk walks in a triple kill. How about the quadra kill? Oh my goodness.
Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
Milestones aside, if Liquid aren't careful, M80 could get back into this game. They're not too shabby when it comes to Consulate, Jack.
Yeah, we've seen them play Consulate already in this group stage. They played up against Team Joel. They won that 7-1. So for Liquid, I'm thinking, well, they're going to pick into it because they know they've got VOD on M80 on this map, and they know that they're very likely to start attack, and therefore, Leo, they can counter them.
Exactly. The most interesting fact about this 7-1 win versus Joel for M80 was that they played 6 rounds in defense, which gives them, basically for Team Liquid, a full analysis of these 6 rounds and every single bomb site for M80. If I'm M80's shoes right now, what I'm doing, I'm throwing out these threats to the window right now.
Yeah.
I'm playing completely different. I'm switching everything. I know it's easy to say, but these guys, they're professionals. You can come up with strats on the fly because I can assure you that Team Liquid has a counter strat for every single bomb site.
And we've seen that from Nighthaven. That's what Nighthaven just proved to us, is that Liquid are ready with their counter strats. They've clearly focused. Their area of improvement was their attacks, and that's what they focused on. We've seen that on Nighthaven, and therefore we would expect that to leak over into Consulate as well.
It's a little scary, Leo, because we saw the pace just completely change from Liquid. We haven't seen that up until this game. Labs was completely different.
Yep.
If you're M80, you're sitting there going, what's going to happen on Consulate? What's happening?
For sure. You were looking at Team Liquid. Look at their faces right now. They look chill. They look in full confidence. And that pace, you can find it out of game and in game as well. It's just a question, can they find it again on Consulate?
The question will be, the bigger question at that, can M80 bounce back? Can they bring this series back to naught? We're going to our incredible casters, Parker and the wonderful Jesse.
Wonderful.
He's good at his job, I'll give him that.
I like him.
But he irritates me so immensely. What a map for Team Liquid for 2 reasons. Number 1, coming very close to now finishing near the top of their group, but also Ness breaking 1,000 kills. Let's just take a moment and to Ness for 1,000 kills. Honestly, an incredible milestone.
It really does seem like Ness is having a fantastic game. He's not been the best player this tournament. He came into this matchup negative overall by -7, so he's looking to reverse that scoreline. I gotta say as well, at the last Six Invitational, Ness was by far the MVP up against M80, so maybe he just powers up against this organization. Whatever the case, it is allowing Liquid to storm towards a clean 2-0 victory. The winner of Map 2, Parker, regardless of who it is, will lock down a spot in the upper bracket because M80 just need 1 win and Liquid needed 2-0. Those are the win cons for upper bracket to be secured. We'll jump into the op bans very quickly here. M80 again banning out the Montaigne of Lagonis. He does not want to, M80 do not want to see that operator being brought out by Lagonis. They know how good of a Monty player he is. Liquid's most common ban on Consulate is Monty, so I'm a little surprised that M80 still wanted to remove it on this map. They will answer with a glass ban.
Okay.
I said yesterday that Kino was the best sniper player in the world, and I stand by that. Respect being shown by Team Liquid. They're going to ban out the Mute then right after. So the double Kino counter ban, they are really targeting the hard support player who was definitely the best player from M80 in map number 1. So maybe there's some value to that. As the desk broke down, they've got a lot of VODs to look back on too. So Liquid clearly are coming into this game prepared. Valkyrie, our final ban, I think the most likely outcome from M80, so no surprises to finish things off. But really, this is going to be a test of how well M80 can change things up. I think the desk hit the nail on the head. They need to be changing things. They need to play in a style that Team Liquid won't be ready for. In their 7-1 victory up against Joel, they played every single bomb site, all 4 of them. So no matter where they're gonna go, Liquid will have some footage, they'll have some idea as to what they like to do, and they're gonna have to be ready for that on the side of Team Liquid. For their part, they did show this map as well. They played 12 rounds up against Unwanted on Consulate earlier in the tournament. Wasn't quite as dominant of a victory, but they did win that map 7-5. So Team Liquid comfortable on this matchup. I will also mention M80 currently on a 6-game win streak on this map, but the vast majority of those games, obviously, with a very different roster.
In keeping with them always starting first on attack, Liquid will once again go back to a side that they don't find the same level of dominance on as they do as defenders, but apparently M80 did not get that memo in the previous map. On the other channel, by the way, as there is a B stream, and we don't just want to monopolize your attention, BDS and PSG Talon are currently in hot pursuit of staying alive in that group. BDS has already clinched their spot. PSG Talon is fighting for their lives. They have an opportunity to escape from that group. They have not been eliminated. The only 2 teams that we've said goodbye to are Team Joel and Scars. I hear Ace yelling in the other room, so I imagine something crazy is going on over there, but...
Yeah, it's a race. PSG Talon versus Falcons in that Group C. Falcons don't play today, so it's all in the hands of PSG. In this matchup, obviously we start top floor for Consulate. That is by far the strongest site that every team tends to go to. Liquid have control of this main floor, but they might not know that Gunner's in the basement. Reset seems to be aware that there could be somebody pressuring him late. Gunner on yellow stairs. He's got to time this flank correctly. It will be a CEO execute being attempted by Team Liquid. The Grim will help them quite a bit. Here's the run out, and that's going to be the Grim off the board immediately. Great play by Gunner.
Maya is such a threat for this Team Liquid squad. You lose the utility, you lose the great player. Lost a lot of your tools with just one going down. Diffuser dies shortly thereafter. He was the best player for M80 in the previous round. Down goes resets at the hands of Gunner. This roll is still working out so effectively. The Mozzie cannot be caught, cannot be contained. Palu almost gets the head of Spoit. Spoit playing over by Long Desk, just holding tight to that door frame. Now Lagonis will walk in with Nesk behind him, never mind. Had a good idea on approaching that top floor bomb site, but instead might want to go downstairs to deal with whatever lays in wait. Gunner in that position as now he's on the run. Gunner always makes this face when he's under pressure with his lips. Very obvious that he's in some level of distress.
He's done so much for the team this round, 2 kills, and obviously wasting a ton of time on that bottom floor as well.
Also rendering the Grim and the Dokkaebi useless.
Yeah.
On a top floor execute. Lagonis will sprint on in. There's some gas from Kino. Lagonis has to go out. We talk about the rhythm on that bottom floor bomb site for Bank, but we often forget that the same thing happens up top. Lots of flexibility here. As Palu sees 3 separate players, and he has a problem acquiring the right target. He sees Gunner, out goes the smoke. Nesk and Lagonis taking some damage. Palu falls to Spoit. Packers Nitro Cell sails in. Down goes Lagonis, and Nesk will swing into his undoing. Kino with the final kill, and M80 is poised as ever They had a rough first map.
Listen, remember
Good
this?
start
Run the basement.
to map 2, but they started map 1 like this
We
as
just
well.
play Vigil and like Mozzie.
Yes, but this was a much cleaner round than round 1 on Nighthaven Labs. Round 1 Nighthaven Labs probably should have gone the way of Team Liquid, but it was a hero performance from Kino. This time around on the top floor, it really did feel like M80. They started strong with Gunnar, and he's going to be the MVP of that round for sure. Getting the 2K opener and roaming around that bottom floor with huge impact. But I think they played that late round really cleanly as well on the side of M80. You know, making sure that they deny that CEO plant with Toxic Babes. Kino was spacing those Toxic Babes really well, not tossing them out until you heard the repel in from the plant player. And then in those last couple of seconds, making sure they landed that Nitro Cell so that plant absolutely could not go down no matter what. Palu coming in through the yellow side of things too, also not able to really find any impact. So very clean from M80. I love the way they played that first round. They got to try to keep that up. I will say Consulate compared to Nighthaven Labs can be a much more defender-sided map. Nighthaven, I think, does lean a bit towards the defenders historically, but it's certainly a map that attackers can have a lot of success on. It is rare to see an attacking team really have success on a map like Consulate. So you anticipate that M80 will walk away with a lead in this first half. If they don't, they're in huge trouble. Team Liquid have done it once before, but they'll lose another opening pick as Gunnar finds his second in this game, spawn peek and resets.
Opening picks so far in the hands of Gunnar are integral at keeping his team ahead of the curve. Keep in mind that Liquid showed no signs of fear entering on Nighthaven Labs already. Gunnar has put the fear of Jesus into their hearts. Resets and Maya were the first 2 to die in round number 1. The same will happen now in round 2. As Kino's been dropped, Gunnar finished off. Diffuser on the board. Liquid reduced to just 2 players in a 2v3. Fire away into the corner. Lots of damage done to the Mira, but Diffuser continues to truck on. Palu almost missing the boat on that one. He runs right into Spoid in a very quick round for M80. Map 1 was fast. Map 2 looks to be about the same speed, at least at the moment.
Team Liquid played that round like they got brunch plans in an hour. They sped through that site, immediately just hitting in the back with that Blackbeard, and it'll prompt a tactical timeout from Liquid after going down 0-2. Another early one being called in this series. This time it's the opposing team, and it is a 2-0 scoreline. A little surprising they want to call it so early, given that they are on Consulate attack, but this is the decision being made by Hugzord, the coach of Team Liquid. Going back to Gunnar now on those back-to-back defenses entries, it is very common to see Gunnar having this success out on the roam. He's got a 35% entry participation on the defense. He is often the man on the defense who is running around and finding those opening gunfights. He's not been so successful though. Only a 31% win rate on the defense for his opening engagements through the tournament so far. So starting to turn that stat around, which is great to see from the Manchester Major MVP.
I think the bigger troubling sign is that Team Liquid are regressing, right? This is a team that has had struggles on attack. It looks like Nighthaven Labs might have been a bit of an anomaly, and now they're just going back to where they were before.
I will say though, Parker, both attacks from Team Liquid didn't really get to start. You know, both times they got spawn peeked or run out on, and they didn't really get to start their execute. They didn't get to start their plan. If Team Liquid can just get around where all 5 players exist for the first 30 seconds, they're going to be in a great spot to actually convert these, and we'll get to see what a Team Liquid attack actually looks like. M80, for their part, have done a great job of just disrupting Liquid before they can get underway.
See what new bag of tricks Liquid is able to bring now in this position, if we see any at all, of course. Spawn peaks are something you can't really account for, though. You can't really bake that into your strategy, right? Because it's not often that teams go for it. We have seen, I want to say, a lot more here at this event than in previous events we've watched. Now, these are numbers that we don't track ourselves, so it's one of those things where you just kind of have to go off of your gut feeling, but I don't know how many of you watching feel the same. It certainly seems like teams are taking more chances at the beginning of a round than in previous events. Remember it being this prevalent at SI last year, or Manchester, or Montreal. Obviously, for Team Liquid, they've been on the wrong side of it 2 rounds in a row.
Starting by opening up on the basement. The bomb site is Piano, but there are a lot of players now on that bottom floor, and Diffuser with the Pulse will likely be their late round. Lagonis in on the shield again. He's been consistently rocking these operators, but it's Paul Lu to go down.
Not just one, Jesse, but two and a third. Packer fish for another. He's worried about an upside down rappel. Nesk still searching for his first kill. A flash goes out to Packer on yellow. Nesk in pursuit, wins the engagement. That was a bit of a team effort. Liquid can now reset, but again, oh my, a terrible start for this Brazilian team. M80 are eating them alive on the entry.
With the mute ban, it's going to be Packer on the SAS operator and Kino on the Legion for only the second time this event. Not a common op to see him picking up. Usually that goes to Spoit or Gunner, but he says, what if I just ran a little Legion myself? Don't mind if I do. Packer certainly doing well with the SAS shotgun. Still plenty to do, though. It's going to be Spoit in a gunfight right up the top floor, but Nesk is better. Beauty shot. Can Gunner find a trade? He can.
It's all up to Nesk to clutch this one out. Mr. 1000 himself. Don't know if he'll have the luck or the wherewithal. He holds Diffuser, drops, and it's Diffuser to kill him and drop Diffuser.
Yours, bro. Yours, fucking yours. Let's go.
Packer's way too saucy, is that what they just said?
Too saucy, Parker.
Packer doesn't seem saucy at all.
I think we just fight like admin.
There was some sauce on those stairs.
Okay, we just
Was
fight
there?
admin, like fucking lunatics.
I'll bring the effects and do the lower thing. Okay? So I knew they were gonna fuck. I think we bring nitros.
There was definitely some sauce on those stairs.
All right, all right.
The Liquid players, both Palu and Lagonis, were slipping and sliding in the sauce. Nesk maybe was able to eat up a bit, but ultimately Packer with that 2K entry is going to be the story of the round, that massive advantage that Team Liquid were never able to get away from thanks to some good trading up on that top floor too. Kino did get involved, by the way, on that Legion into the late round. Packer has been better and better every single series. Yesterday, for the first time, Packer went positive at the Six Invitational. He is once again the youngest IGL at this event, and he's been given a monumental task, being put in as the brand new captain for a brand new team with players like Spoit, Gunner, and Diffuser on it. That is a lot of pressure to be put on someone at the age of just 20. But he's stood up tall for it, and honestly, despite his poor stats to start this tournament, I think he's done a great job.
I need to agree with you on that one. While M80 has done a good job, though, Team Liquid have done quite an abysmal job at responding. Nobody on this team seems to be able to stand up to the aggression for M80. Palu's kills have mostly been trades, so they're not as impactless as you would think from an 0-3 score line. You see, but everybody else has failed really to do all that much. And because of that, you're letting M80 just run all over you at the moment. You're getting knocked off stride early in the round, and then Liquid are not able to pivot. And these are the same issues that Liquid has encountered time and time again on attack. If everything is going to plan, you are unstoppable. The moment the smallest grain of sand gets in that gear, you're done for.
I like that echo cam from Gunner. This one's nice too. Gets him a bit of intel up on that top floor. Can't quite capitalize off of it, but this is going to be a different push from Team Liquid. First round, they wanted a CEO execute, didn't find much luck with it. Now they're going to focus over towards admin instead. That means the Packer and Spoit will likely be the first points of contact for M80. But it's slow to get this control, Parker.
It's slow because they're worried that the moment they get into the building, they're going to die. And that hesitation, I think, is for good reason. They find two very quick kills. Spoit dies as well. Palu with two, Nesk with one. Gunner's making that face again. That's the Gunner face. And Kino, now with a Liquid team that has basically been untouched. Palu taking his lumps, but he soldiers onwards. I don't think Liquid are any fear of running out of time in this round.
No, they got plenty to work with.
They find Maya. 0-4 so far. A terrible start to him on his roll, and now Nesk will take some damage over towards Spiral. Kino's attention in that instance will now need to turn towards the vending machines as Kino and Lagonis can spy one another with that death mark. So they know where Nesk is, and they have an idea of where Lagonis is. Gunner still on the move. Lagonis attempting the defuse plant. Smoke has missed him. Gunner with the vault out, but he will need to clutch out. Nesk waiting at the top of the stairs, and Gunner just misses the head. Palu and Nesk getting all of the kills in that round. A full house, you could say. So 3 kills for Nesk, 2 kills for Palu. Liquid are finally on the board. They looked strong. It's the best look we've seen from Liquid, but there's not been a lot of good looks so far here in this map.
There's 3 kills for Palu, 2 kills for Nest.
I swapped them.
You did, and that's okay.
And now M80 has called their timeout?
Really?
We want to play wild tile with 2 barricade. We already have. We just gotta change for the 2. Yeah. And then I want more ops to point for no Valk and Echo, you know? So we can get around. So we just play Echo and Mods, you know? I want to have him on the top 4. Then we're gonna give them top. We just collapse them like on lounge and on VZ, you know? We just play around them. On lounge,
I can't walk around with Echo though.
No, just play on side. Just play on side. And then the next round, just do CEO again. Just do CEO again with this scope.
Alright, I'll keep it. I couldn't find Echo, bro.
Bro, 2 seconds.
All right, well, it's going to be round 5 down into the basement. They wanted some intel. I believe Packer was supposed to pick Echo, but he couldn't find it in time. He didn't have time to click the operator. And sometimes that happens. I've talked with players about this. After attack timeout ends, there's sometimes not a lot of time on the clock to choose your operator. So Packer has defaulted to Soulless this round, as we're looking at the top-down view right now. And then round number 6 is going to be back to the top floor, back to CEO. They're going to try that one again. Interesting that Bodega would take attack timeout when they're already in such a lead, just to specify the strats that they should be running on these next 2 rounds. He knows it's really important that they can get as strong of a first half as possible. Only time will tell if that attack timeout will pay off. Obviously a bit of almost negotiating between Packer and Boo Boo in that attack timeout. Bodega not even realizing the Valk was banned. And they were the ones that banned the Valk, just so we're clear on that. But, I mean, mistakes happen.
There's already a hate brigade, by the way, for Bodega on certain parts of social media. I hate to see how that particular interaction is going to play out between those people.
I mean, if they come back and get a 5-1 half here, I think that attack timeout from Bodega is genius, you know? If that can actually be converted into 2 more round wins from M80, that's very worthwhile.
Big trepidation from Liquid on getting into the building. We highlighted it in the previous round. Mayan resets, yet to get a kill. Lagonis with 1. It's all but on the shoulders of Palu and Nesk. That last round in particular, like we said, they got both of those picks. And they'll look for more as Maya now inside the building, aiming to hunt down one of these 5 defenders afflicted by the logic bomb. It's got Palu upstairs with him as well as they find Spoit's goo mines. Nobody on the top floor for M80. Gunner goes down at the hands of Nesk. Nesk continuing his sensational play from map number 1. M80 suffering through that entry. Maybe a bit of a confidence booster here. As now the Legion of Spoit is spotted over towards Spiral Stairs. Palu engaged in a showdown as Lagonis is dropped. What is going on? Logic bombs will go. Shotgun is out. Packer collapsing on resets. The advantage that Liquid had is evaporated. Now Spoit losing some of his safety from above, flushed out by the buck, right into the waiting arms of Nesk. Maya doesn't get that kill, but he was instrumental in Liquid getting it themselves. He'll take an assist, I suppose. 1 minute left and a 3v3. Nesk will sledge his way down as Maya falls at the hands of Packer, but he cannot secure the kill. Problem is these 2 remaining players from Liquid who are upright are in the basement.
You might not have wanted to play this operator, but Packer's doing great things on the Soulless. Nesk has been amazing as well. As you mentioned, Palu has to rotate all the way up just to pick up Maya, leaving Nesk alone inside of the basement, and he's just holding the long angle. A smoke will allow him to advance. Shot through the smoke, though.
Nesk and Palu both on 1 point of HP. They step in a single goo mine and they're as good as dead. Kino ensuring that Palu doesn't get that close to the site. Now Maya also on 1 HP. Watched quite intently. by that cam. Nesk with 3 kills, looking for a 4K in the previous round or an ace. He'll attempt the plant with Maya to cover. Maya on 0 kills, misses the nitro cell completely. Kino doing double duty. Bodega jumps for joy in the background, and M80 seem impossible to slow down at the moment.
Big round from Kino down in the basement.
Just run our default piano. I think our CEO, you want CEO? Okay. These guys are playing like straight pussy. Should I put the word in again? Okay, you got it? Okay. What should I play, bro? Whatever you want. Sure. I'm gonna put it whiteboard.
That's Bosco. Someone played early.
That is Bosco.
Someone try to shoot.
He's picked the Mira, by the way, Packer has. Some debate over the bomb site. They do choose to follow Bodega's advice, and they're going to go CEO thanks to the influence of Diffuser. Going to go back to Kino in that last round. His anchor play was absolutely phenomenal. The roam game wasn't bad from M80, not bad at all. They were able to trade things out really nicely to put Kino in that winning position, and then Kino hits the nail on the head. Kino grew up in the same town as both Palu and Nesk. I think that's kind of insane, don't you?
Half of the players grew up in Sao Paulo.
Okay, so? Still, they all come from the same place. Maybe Siege runs in their blood. Does feel like Kino is taken after the Masters a little bit. Bit younger of a career so far, but certainly replicating the success that Nesk and Palu have had throughout their long history. Both teams now hunting for a hammer in Boston. 4-1 is the lead. I said a 5-1 after that TAC timeout would be a good result. Returning to the top floor, you have to imagine Liquid would want to go for the same style of push where they focus over by admin, but they've changed a lot of operators around this time, Parker. They might be going for a different style of push to get the defuse get in through meeting, or they may even just go back for a CEO take. They've got a lot of options based on this op lineup.
Last kick of the can for Liquid on attack. Do Mayan resets go an entire half without getting a single kill? It'll be devastating for Liquid's chances. A lot is talked about entry kills and the entry players. Maya, Nesk, and Palu are the 3 players on Liquid you expect to get most of the kills. 2 of them are doing their job quite well. Through 5 completed rounds, 6th round right now we're in the midst of. Palu and Nesk combined for 13 kills. Just a little bit more than 2 a round, or 1 kill apiece per round, which is pretty damn good. The rest of the team combines for a single kill. For those of you without a visual reference, that means Lagonis, Maya, and Resets have 1 kill between all 3 of them. That is very bad.
Especially for Resets. I mean, he's been their best player throughout this tournament. He's been getting the most kills out of anybody on the team. Entered into this matchup with 64 frags. To see him not performing is a big reason why Liquid haven't been able to find many rounds so far today. They've taken good space inside of admin. They forced all of M80 already back. They're no longer holding the vending stairs.
Oh my.
They do get a pick as Gunnar just swings for Maya. 0-6 for the half.
No drones for Liquid, so that would explain why they don't seem to know where any of these players for M80 stand. Out goes the concealment devices from Sens. A smoke will go 2, and now Lagonis breathing in an awful lot of gas. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and boy, are Liquid ever desperate. Nesk is on an absolute heater. He finished with double digits in map 1. He's at 9 kills, but that's all he'll get.
Bro, resets is a bot, bro. Let's go.
5-1 for M80 through the first half. Liquid did the same in map number 1. Both of these teams demolishing each other, but on each other's maps.
Way she goes sometimes, Parker. Liquid.
Listen. I was trolling because, guys, I didn't have laser on my BB.
Listen, we have blitzes.
Ah, is that what it was? Okay.
We're going instantly. Like, just
Are you sure? That's why they banned the glass, though.
Didn't have laser on his BB. That's the troll.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's been a domination from M80, and Liquid had to know what they were getting into. They saw that M80 dominated Joel a few days ago. That was a 7-1 game. We could be looking at another 7-1 for M80. Maybe Liquid looked at that game and saw that it was against Joel, who were maybe the worst team at this tournament, and said, nah, we won't get 7-1s in that same fashion. Maybe they underestimated how much M80 really brought to that matchup. Started on the exact same half as Joel did, and they've gotten much the same results. slightly different because M80 started that Joel game 6-0, then they lost their first attack and closed it out 7-1. So Liquid, I guess, did a little bit better on their attacks, but you got to imagine that M80 are still in a very dominating spot to win this game and send us all the way to a third map. Once again as well, M80, if they can win Consulate here, despite the fact that the series will go to a third map, M80 lock in an upper bracket finish in the group stage with just a single map win.
We do have spoilers from the other side of the pond, aka the stream, aka the other room, aka the two Brits that are casting it. BDS and PSG Talon went to all 15 rounds.
Wow.
In map number 1, and spoilers, BDS 187.
That's tough. PSG Talon playing for their lives in that series.
Falcons has the day off, as you pointed out, so their fate is not in their hands. Resets with his very first kill. It's a rush strat from M80. It works out at the beginning, the onset, both teams with 2 kills apiece. Oh my, Packer runs into 1. How about another? He finds 2 for his troubles. It's all to Maya, and Gunner slaughters him. 10 seconds and this round is over.
Please, bro. Let's go.
It's always Sean in the back end. Come on, baby.
Consulate prime time, baby. Consulate is your map, bro.
All right, come on then.
What the hell is going on?
Hey, Packers popping off.
Nesk walked in bathroom.
Spoit has not said a word. Everybody else is losing their minds. And the Swede is just, he's wired in. Jubilation spreading across the bench. Spoit cracks a smile. The first map was 7-1 for Liquid on M80's choice. It sure looks like that same result is about to unfold here as M80 are up 6-1 on Liquid's map.
I believe the specific words from Packer were, and I quote, "Resets is a bot, bro." And while he did get his first kill last round, he also got a team kill that really did start to turn things around for Team Liquid. Ended off in a very close 1v1. I mean, it was chaos in the final moments of that round, but M80 very nearly lost it. They lost a lot of bodies themselves. Resets, if he didn't find that TK, I mean, in chaotic situations like that, you know, it's always going to be tough to stop a fast, aggressive push as M80 just brought through. In any case now, unless we see a huge comeback from Team Liquid, map 3 is on the horizon.
We have a correction to be issued, by the way. Falcons do not have the day off.
Oh, my mistake. I believe I said that earlier.
You did? But that's okay. It's Dark Zero who has the day off. Dark Zero's already clinched their spot to the next phase, so they don't need to worry about anything. I mean, obviously their position matters. Right now they find themselves in 2nd place. They are 1 point ahead of Raza Company Academy, 3 points ahead of Falcons, and 5 points ahead of PSG Talon. So DZ are in an okay spot, but Falcons will be playing today.
So if you're wondering when does Bolo play, the answer is not today.
Maybe in a couple days.
Certainly in a couple days.
Spoit gets in, wants to open up the wall, and then immediately gets out.
Yeah, I mean, that's standard for ace players. That's likely where the defuse kit will go late. They could go back to the bomb site too if they wanted to. A couple of different plant spots. Depends how much control they get on this top floor. Piano to the bomb site where a lot of spots can be denied vertically. Nesk, what an aggressive move, and he gets 2 of them, Parker! Spoit and Packer both fall.
Well, that's it for Nesk's tyranny. Kino at the top of Visa Stairs, eliminating him. Other silhouettes inside of Projector. M80 need more than just 1 kill, especially when you've lost your Blackbeard and your Hard Breach. Bit of calm before some more calm, and then maybe a storm, who knows. Halfway point of the round. Both of these teams have already used their timeouts. I know by the scoreline that might seem insane. Resets eliminating Diffuser, and things will fall by the wayside for M80. Don't really know how Gunner and Kino find themselves in a healthy way out of this position.
Yeah, this is tough.
Liquid can hear everything that Kino is doing. Palu is just waiting for an opportunity. Resets is a bot. According to M80, well, you just got beat by a bot in that round. A huge one for Resets. Liquid staying alive for the time being. They got a long, long road for them to get back at the same pace that M80 set.
Listen, Nesk has been in a spot like this once or twice before. Just in case you didn't know, he's got over 1,000 kills at the Six Invitational, Parker. Wow. Across all the years. And so he knows what it takes and when he needs to step up and make a play happen. That round was one of them. Sometimes getting aggressive like that, going for a swing that is unexpected, that is on paper maybe not the right call, but is correct for a player like Nesk who can make those plays and understands when it's going to be unexpected, who's got game sense as good as Nesk does. It can often be the right decision to go for a swing like that, start off the momentum, and if you know for a fact that your team needs to come back, that you guys need to start things rolling, those aggressive moves can often be exactly what it takes. And those aggressive moves are what it took for M80 to get started in this matchup. Don't forget, rounds 1 and 2 started with a run out and a spawn peek for M80. So they used those aggressive moves to get the momentum going, to start winning these rounds on defense time and time again. And Nesk, while it's not quite as aggressive, is still aware that he's got to make some moves here for Team Liquid to get the rest of his teammates back into this game. He's not the captain of Team Liquid, but as the eldest player on this roster, and as the only player on this roster who has lifted a trophy with the organization, he knows how important it is to get the team back on track.
There's like soft leadership skills that are brought by somebody who's been around for a while. I mean, when you are the veteran presence, people will listen to you. He is the institutional knowledge of Team Liquid and one of the most respected voices in all of Rainbow Six. M80 are off to the races. They want a quick execute onto this bottom floor. A Nitro Cell goes out, and M80 will start with the very first pick. Down goes Resets. A terrific previous round. Lagonis will join. Spoit is on the ground, but not dead. M80 not as healthy as it might seem, but still in very good shape. Now it's Maya to do damage against the Blitz. Packer dies to Nesk. Where did Nesk come from? He just appeared as he teleports to the spiral stairs. Now it's Palu and Maya taking quite a bit of damage, and Kino and Gunner find themselves in a situation where they could easily win this for their team and send us to map number 3, Border, as that decider. Palu a nice flick, but he misses his shots. And now it's all up to the 5 HP of Maya. In Coffee Room, a good time for a break, but he's got work to be done. We still haven't hit the halfway point of this round yet, and it's a 1v1 with everything on the table. Kino with 10 kills. He's been sensational for this M80 squad. He was the top-rated player heading into yesterday's matches. Those ratings have shifted around a bit. Kino gets closer, and here's the thing. Maya can hear him. Kino has no intel. The one thing Kino has is tons of time. He sees the sentry. Maya wins the duel! No way Kino drops that! Liquid pulled that one out of their behinds. I have no clue how Maya wins that fight. You could have sneezed in Maya's direction and he would have died.
1 HP in a dream, but that's all that he needed. Big play coming out from the newest member of Team Liquid. It's his first clutch of the tournament. He's not been in many situations. The primary entry fragger for Team Liquid is often down early, and he almost was in this one too. So few HP points left on his character, but still managed to step up for 2 big picks. Stepping up big. Oh my God, Maya. He knows how important that clutch was for keeping Team Liquid's hopes alive in this map 2 against M80. It was just yesterday, Parker, that you and I casted a ridiculous comeback from a Brazilian team up against a North American team. I think that was a 6-1 that ended 7-5, if I'm not mistaken. And we are not necessarily headed that way yet, but we are on Consulate, one of the most defender-sided maps in the game. It's not going to be easy for M80 to turn this one around. And don't forget, they burned their TAC timeout when they were in the lead 3-1. So they will not have a chance to slow this game down if Liquid keep the ball rolling.
What a comeback it would be for Liquid to get to overtime. They cannot win in regulation. As you see, M80 has them on the brink of defeat. So it's a long road. That long road is getting shorter round by round. You're fighting this match in 3-minute increments. The one thing working against Liquid is that as defenders, they are at the mercy of the bomb site rotation. news for them, though. Consulate has 4 viable bomb sites.
Yep.
And they are all overwhelmingly defender favored. Consulate is actually the most defender-sided map in the map pool right now. 66% of all rounds played have been won by the defenders. Every bomb site is 50% or above. Servers tellers is literally sitting at 50-50. Everything else is in the 60% or above range. That bodes well for Liquid.
Yeah, not a surprise here. Consulate has historically always been very defender-sided. So many little corners, so many strong bomb sites on this map, and they'll go to the strongest bomb site, top floor, as they continue to sit on match point for Team Liquid. When they played this map a couple days ago against Unwanted, they had a 67% defensive win rate. They didn't play Archives Tellers, but I'm sure they have it in their pocket.
A vault in does not work out for Packer. He loses Diffuser right next to him. Packer's still upright, but a little bit worse for where he's holding on to that kit. Spoit is hoping that amidst the chaos, he can take advantage of this and fly under the radar. Liquid will give him no quarter right now. Not a single point of damage has been done to any of these Brazilian defenders. Gunnar will target the smoke of Palu. Great choice.
Yep.
He and Nesk have been keeping the offense on this team alive. They combined for 20 kills at this point, still sitting at a kill per round as an average. Spoit on the board, so M80 has a good shot. The smoke of Palu will swing. Gunnar losing the duel. Now a double lineup on the same door. Spoit almost handles both of them, but only does a little bit of damage. Now he's on the ground, and that sidearm is so good. Down goes 2 of them. Spoit almost single-handedly winning this round for M80. It pushes resets into an awkward position as now Palu is tagged in, walking up Packer with impunity, trying to get the diffuser down, but realizes he doesn't have an opening, but Spoit's there for the quad kill. It's him and resets with Packer holding on to that diffuser. Spoit just waiting for it, and how about an ace to send the map away into the win column for M80. The Swede has been quiet all series, but he comes alive when you need him most. It was a statement first map for Liquid. M80 does the same on map number 2. And between these two juggernauts, Jesse, we need a third map.
There's a reason the GOAT is a GOAT, Parker, and it doesn't matter if he's had a bit of a quiet tournament so far. Rated the #1 player in the North American League, and that's very deserved. Proves exactly why his peers think of him so highly, as does the entire community. Spoit, incredibly talented, showcasing it in that final round.
And a best-of-1 showdown on our 3rd and final map here in this series. But first, a break. We'll be back in a few.
Back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Team Liquid almost stared right back into a mirror. M80 were very close to 7-1ing them, but alas, they extended it a little further and maybe gave us a little bit of hope, Jack. I'm hoping there was a bit of hope in that.
Yeah, I think so. I think they needed a big reaction, you know, coming into now their opponent's map pick. And M80, they were so good on the defense, and they got it done on console, Leo.
Yeah, I think overall, you know, it's not a question of strategy right now. It's a question of throwing the strats out of the window, playing in rank, but playing together. And that's exactly what M80 is strong for. They have impressive individuals that can go back and forth, win those gunfights. That happen consistently for these guys.
It's so rare in a best of 3 to see each team win their opponent's map pick, but I think in both maps there was elements of counter prep and baiting that went into the map vetoes. And like you said, I think for M80, we said that they maybe need to go a little bit different, and I think they did. They really increased their aggression, as you said.
Unfortunately, I am going to note one particular moment that I looked at the scoreboard and was a little concerned, Leo. We had 3 players with a combined 5 kills heading into round 8 for Liquid. It was, I believe it was Resets, Maya, and Lagonis, unable to get on the scoreboard. They were struggling to get really any impact in this matchup.
Yeah, Nesk was only the real player, like stepping up and saving his team. You can see he's the MVP of the map despite losing 7-3, which is huge.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is that it seems to be consistent with these guys, especially for players like Resets, for example. If they don't have a strong showing in the first rounds of the map, they tend to shut down. And it's tough because that's something that you see in rookies, but Resets has been there for a long time.
Yeah, and I guess we could probably lean into that a little more, Leo. We can talk about the moment at which we knew, not that their fate was kind of sealed by any means, but Liquid really had a rough start to this one.
After last map, one of the things that we mentioned was M80 needs to be disruptive to this fundamental playstyle. Look at their way to be disruptive. Gunner here, shoots the Claimer, runs out, first pick of the round, that tells you about the aggression he's looking for. And that's not only that, he will continue to be annoying. That roamer's gonna go kill the KB downstairs as well. Gunnar was an instrumental part of that. Round 2 is again spawn picking, gets another pick, and even later in a round you will see Spoit going aggressive as well. Same position towards bench as Maya is going downstairs to hunt the roamers. And different way, but like Packer again here in yellow. Here's the call out that they're rushing. He's gonna go down with the shotgun and go aggressive and get another pick. You know, these guys are amazing at denying these entry points. They're gonna go and play as aggressive as possible.
Jack, they started strong, but Spoit finished it in an even better fashion.
Yeah, he did. We know that he's one of the best rated players in the world. He's certainly the best player in North America right now. And look at him, this kill here, this double kill, he'd ran out of ammo, he knew that he was gonna get double swung, gets the double kill, and then finishes it off. And what's actually quite funny about this is Spoit got the ace on Ash. Now, I was talking to Spoit about his operators yesterday. He's like, I really like playing the operator ace. I love playing
I'm not an Ash main anymore.
He literally said to me, I don't really like playing Ash. He's just gone and got an ace on the operator.
Another 50 quid, right?
Another 50 quid, yeah.
Sorry to say, mate. Sorry to say.
It's all good.
It is what it is.
Goes to a good cause.
It does go to a very great cause, and you are indeed a very great gentleman. But it is time for us to take a short break. On the other side, will M80 steal this from underneath Liquid as we head to border?
Ouais, choc-les, choc-les, ouais, choc-les, 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 ouais, voilà ce qu'ils me disent, les entends parler et ils m'étrisent, j'arrête que pour rafler la mise, petit pas sur la piste et le succès je l'ai pisté, disent que la place du premier, fais monter la côté, sur moi tu mises gros, tu connais déjà l'équipe, ça criera au complot, je prends le double, on est quitté, je fais la magie des chiffres. La somme je la triple, la concurrence la dribble et le stade est en délire, ça fait choquer, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché, gauche, droite, esquive rageux, coach m'a rajouté du temps de jeu, dans l'action ouais je me sens en feu, je suis on fire, je fais la différence au compteur, money time ça shoot sur le buzzer, je suis on fire, choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché.
Map 1 and Map 2 have set us up very nicely for Border. It's been a very aggressive game, Leo, and that's exactly what this is going to be, an aggressive map.
We're headed to Border. Border is the kind of map, if you want to defend it, it's so small, you need to play super aggressive towards the outside. Yeah. And right now, who's starting in defense? M80 is starting in defense, and Liquid has to face crazy confidence-boosted gunner on it.
Yeah, it's a big thing for them. Obviously, it's all been about Liquid's attacks in my mind. Obviously, they were so good on map 1 on Nighthaven Labs. Yeah. They were not particularly great on Constant. They got caught out by M80's aggression. However, they can probably make quite a safe assessment that that's going to come from M80 on Border.
They need to hit the reset button and now bring the Monty, bring the Blitz, bring the KB, the Lion. I want to see crowd control operators and discipline to shut down that aggression early.
Jack, the context of this match is obviously, it's quite known. However, with M80 dropping, not M80 dropping that map, with Liquid dropping that map, the standings shake up a bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. So M80 are guaranteed to be in the upper bracket now, but Liquid are playing. They have to win this map if they want any shot at playing through that upper bracket. If they lose, and they lose this fixture, they will be the 4th place team. They will start in the lower bracket.
That is going to be heartbreak for Team Liquid. We know how good they've been at events recently, but it just feels as though they continue to miss the mark by small margins. Speaking of small margins, can't do this one.
What do you mean by that?
Hi, Jesse.
What do you mean by that? Finish your thoughts. Finish your thoughts.
I love you, Jesse. It's great to see you again. Please enjoy this matchup, will you?
Didn't finish his thought. I wonder why. What was he going to say there?
He was going to say that you're small. You are a little boy.
I don't like that guy. I'm staring at him right there. I don't like that guy. I liked him last time.
Admittedly, we could fit 3 of you in Rob.
Okay.
If you were Luke Skywalker and he was a Tauntaun, 3 of you could climb inside of him. And I'm sure he'd keep you warm in these cold Boston winters, let me tell you that much. M80 still with the nod in terms of community votes, 57 to 43%. Do you agree with the community? Or do you have a different opinion on how Border will play out?
No, I think I do, Parker. M80 are looking like a better team today, and although Nesk and Palu have shown up today, no doubt about it, they need some help. Somebody else on this team's got to step up, or Team Liquid, as the desk outlined, will be starting in the lower bracket. A loss in this map will guarantee that result. If M80 can win map number 3, then Group A is locked. G2 would be 1st, M80 would be 2nd, Unwanted would be 3rd, Liquid would be 4th, and of course Joel would be 5th. If Liquid can eke out a win, then they're in a much better situation, but Unwanted would still have the opportunity to force Liquid to the lower bracket later today. We'll start with the double shield ban as M80 continue the trend of banning Monty every single map up against Lagonis, and Blitz will be removed on the side of Team Liquid. I was expecting a zombie if Liquid were following their common trend, but they will break that and take out the Vigil instead. The Bosch team Mastermind removed from Border, a map with loads of good Bosch G spawn peaks, so I don't hate that decision. And this is a hard one to call. M80 will respond with the zombie ban that I was kind of expecting Team Liquid to run with. So really standard bans across the board. Team Liquid, you don't get a lot of standard bans with this team, and M80 as well can throw a lot of curveballs in the operator ban phase, but we're keeping it simple and basic today. The only shield left alive on the board will be Blackbeard.
Wait, what is that GG Easy background? I like that a lot.
GG Easy, is that Black Dragon?
It's one of the R6 share
It's definitely
ones,
a
right?
team, yeah. Don't quote me on what team that was.
Be very curious to know.
Our observer is confirming for us it is Black Dragons. Thank you, Red Like. Appreciate that. I'm glad I was correct on that.
You are so good with your skinnergizing.
I like the skins. I try to buy quite a few of them.
I got a nice throwback the other day because there was a team that was fully skinnergized. And if you recall, our first live event after the R6 share backgrounds went into effect was that Charlotte Major. And there was one player who forgot their background. I think they were on Astralis. I can't honestly quite remember. And we jokingly booed them, and it stuck around for the entire event.
Yeah.
And every time it would show the operator lineup and somebody did not have their team background, they would get booed.
Yeah.
You created a monster that we could not control. I reveled in it. I thought it was very funny. But I got a reminder of it on social media just a day or two ago, and it's a nice memory. That and the One More Bite with NJR was excellent content.
That was the same event that was inside of America. It's good to be back in the USA. We'll likely get more of those crowd shenanigans.
As Canadians at the moment, it might not be the best.
True. Start of this round, Spoit thought he was on the Vigil Boss G. He went for the classic Vigil spawn peek. He's rocking the DMR on Tubrao instead. Didn't find anything, though. Team Liquid have been very cautious. After the way that Consulate started, I think that's the right read.
It's funny to see that fear sink into Liquid in map number 2 after they looked unstoppable on attack. If anything, on map number 1, it was M80 who seemed to be quite fearful in that very first altercation. They knew he was there.
Yeah, they had a drone on that guy.
You droned him.
Gunner's better, though. That's the thing they forgot.
You droned him sitting in that doorway.
Great shot coming out.
The Gunner face making an appearance.
Gunner rocking the Roni. I feel like most people are running Commando these days.
You know what Gunner's face kind of looks like? You've watched Breaking Bad, right?
Like, I did watch Breaking Bad.
Hector Salamanca? You know when he makes that scowling face?
Yeah, that's dirty. I would
exactly what Gunner's face looks like. No, it's a compliment. Nest with 1 kill, and Lagona's hopping inside of office right now, looking for yet another. But the Mozzie of Gunner will hit the deck. The smoke emerging in this position, sidearm out! Lagonas was in a target-rich environment. Only able to secure 1, though, before getting dragged on down. A follow-up immediately from Maya as he spray transfers on over. Packer and Maya in a 1v1. Diffuser retrieved. Packer is miles away from where this is going, and now his position for a second will become immediately visible. Maya shooting away at Packer. The gun right now favoring the attackers. The UMP for Packer is not particularly great. Packer's got to go. Maya should be able to get there, right? Packer sees the engagement for a second, just saw his leg. He'll go right back on. There's another drone on. This drone is watching him from outside. They trade, but with the diffuser down, Liquid wins the round. Talk about too close for comfort.
Nice play by Maya, stepping up big time in the very first round here on Border. One thing, every single map between these two teams, round 1 has been explosive with some brilliant play from a single individual. And the Portuguese coach, or the Brazilian coach of M80 screams back in Portuguese. Things you love to see. Bodega always gets active with the other Brazilian teams. Really well played by Maya. Packer as well. Hit some beautiful shots, including the last one. It was a crazy flick to finish things off, but it just wasn't enough.
By the way, that first kill by Gunner, even in slow motion, there was no delay.
Listen,
that level of reflex is just insane, really, to know they're coming and just they're on your screen for a nanosecond and he gets the kill. That, you can't teach that.
No, and I mean, saying he looks like Hector Salamanca might not be a compliment.
That is not what I said. I said the face is the same as the one that Hector Salamanca makes.
You can't help but compliment that aim from Gunner. He has been so good. Yesterday, he was one of the most important players in their win over Unwanted, his former team. Now he's stepping up big time again on M80. In my opinion, one of the smartest and most clutch players that we have in Rainbow Six Siege. There is a reason he's a major MVP.
I know you antagonize me as a joke, and I don't want the people thinking it's sincere. That comparison was not intended as an insult. Hector Salamanca is I think, one of the best characters on modern television. I think his role was great. I think the way that the actor played it was great.
Don't disagree.
And I think that Gunner making that face just resembles the mannerisms that a TV show character does. It's not a negative thing, and don't make the people think that I'm insulting him. I like Gunner.
Bathroom Tellers will be our second bomb site for M80 as they try to
point, because you got nothing.
Pull it back to the 1v1 clutch from Maya. Good drone work coming in from Nest, and that will be shot. That won't be shot by Spoit. Never mind. A little bit of a blind spot perhaps there.
Just got shot.
Catch it.
Okay. Just got it.
Okay, good. Wow, that'll be the Bravo drone cleaned up then from Spoit.
There are a few times where we don't know what a player is actually seeing. So
that is correct.
We are in the standard resolution. Some players play lower field of view in stretched res, which means that they don't necessarily see the same things that we do. For example, if somebody's on the side of your screen and we see him, they legitimately might not. And that's just something for not just us, but also the viewer to keep in mind. Oh my goodness. I guess we know whether Maya's in stretch res or not because he's almost sees the castle of Gunner.
And we're gonna find a pick right now. The Deimos of Maya his most common operator, will jump in the building and finds the back Gunnar, but he didn't hit the head. He does finish it off eventually as Gunnar hits the deck. Down to a 4v4 now as Spoit answers with pick on the resets. Maya takes control of waiting, and he's hungry for a second. Kino inside of the bathroom is his target. Hacker goes down to Palu.
It's the slowest map so far that we've seen. Nice shot by Maya, who's making up for lost time. He had a rough second map. He will not allow that to happen for a second time. In the urinal, it was Lagonas, wasting some time away. Almost getting that diffuser down. He peels off. Now it's Spoit chased from above, and it's all up to diffuser as Lagonas will attempt a second time. He gets much deeper into it this time around. Palu spotted a drop as diffuser thinks he might have the down, but the pings betray him. Big round by Lagonas.
Lagonas went huge in that final couple of picks. Maya the start though, my God. The way he found that gap, the entry on the Deimos, I mentioned it beforehand, he's taken the majority of opening gunfights for the team on that offense. There's a reason why Team Liquid are thought of as the best entry team in the world. At least through this event, their statistics would suggest that. And honestly, tough from Gunnar. He was watching that window, but the timing just not quite there, so he lost the opening duel, and then really smart thinking from Maya to so quickly drop down into waiting, find his way into the bomb site. That just wasn't expected by M80. That allowed them to start getting a plant down, and unfortunate for Diffuser on that final gunfight. I thought he downed Palu as well.
Very close, and I can understand why you'd assume that, but...
Yeah, not quite though. Left on a sliver of HP, and then the chaos in the 2v1 kind of overtook it. Liquid are loud today, Parker. I didn't hear much of that in map number 2, and I guess there wasn't all that much to scream about back on Consulate, but on Border, Team Liquid are coming alive. They know how important this map is. This is their fight for the upper bracket. The difference between having a second life and not during the Six Invitational bracket phase, or yeah, playoff stage, is massive. And with how many Six Invitationals they've been to, Team Liquid know that better than almost anybody. A 2-0 lead on Border on attack is also not that uncommon, as this is one of the most attacker-sided maps in Rainbow Six Siege, probably the most attacker-sided map over a long enough sample size. We tend to see that the attackers find a lot of success with all of the bomb sites having pretty direct access from outside the buildings. These really small maps generally favor the attackers.
We started off this series, Jesse, with Nesk breaking the 1,000 kill mark at SI, and by the end of next week, he might have 2 more players alongside him, one of which is on his team. Palu was 46 kills away. I think he was at 954, if memory serves correctly, so 46. Palu is sitting at 17 kills, so 29 away from 1,000 himself. Palu has been playing for a lot less time than Nesk, so maybe it's a bit more impressive when Palu hits it. Cyber is also very much in the conversation. I think he was 20 to 30 kills away. FaZe Clan is in action later today. So there will be an opportunity for Cyber to break it, depending on how long the rematch of the SI Grand Finals against Furia goes. That'll be happening at the tail end of today. Diffuser with the first pick here in the round, and he finds a second onto Lagonas. Maya, Lagonas attempting to get into the building. Diffuser says, no thank you. Now you have to use some utility to try to push him out of this position. Palu near-sighted as there go the Candelas. Diffuser tucked into the corner. Kino will come to assist. E1Ds will go as gas rains out in front of Diffuser, who's down through the soft wall. Do Liquid have the information that they've downed one of the players? Now resets, looking for his very first kill. He gets the down on a Diffuser, but that's not an actual kill. He was downed earlier on, so either Palu or Nesk gets credited with that. 45 seconds to go, and a big advantage for M80.
Watch out for Spoit on that flank. Nesk seems to be aware. Not quite, though.
Here he comes creeping up. Nesk turns to Kino's attention. Spoit is there on that flank you talked about. What does Palu do in this situation? 3 targets, 30 seconds. 1 target for every 10 seconds. It's definitely doable. Spoit has not moved off his position. All of M80 are situated to watch Palu as he nears this armory bomb site. Gunner eliminates him, and M80 get on the board.
We run the secret workshop.
Let's go!
Clean round coming out from M80. Obviously, Diffuser starting off strong. He'll have a few more years before he gets in the 1,000-kill conversation. The rookie at his first Six Invitational. Despite how well he's played both at this event and in the year so far, Diffuser's been phenomenal. But barring the... I think it's probably mathematically impossible, but barring a ridiculous run, he's going to have a few more years till he gets to that point. Still, though, having the impact in that early round with the 2K entry, playing inside of offices, that set them up really nicely in Team Liquid. I like the way they responded in that 3v5. They did a good job of starting to bring things back and punishing some of that aggression from M80, but they never had any idea where Spoit was. That movement down through break room to be on that south side of the map was something Team Liquid just did not expect. Spoit got a freebie halfway through that clutch attempt, and then the rest of the players on M80 able to claw back a couple kills as well. So that will be their first round on the board. We go down to Vent's Workshop for round number 4. Keeping it interesting on the site rotation. This is a map that has 3 sites that are similarly strong, and then custom supply is pretty bad, so you probably won't see that bomb site, but...
We've seen it twice at this event.
Okay. How has it gone?
50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
1 win for the defenders, 1 win for the attackers. Border is the second least played map, only ahead of Skyscraper. Border right now sitting at 72 rounds played over 6 matches. This will be match number 7. It is a defender-sided map, but it's closing in on 50-50 territory. Of all the rounds played, 56% of the rounds have been won by the defenders. 44% obviously won by the attackers. The only bomb site that has a negative win rate for the defenders is Ventilation Workshop. It's actually sitting at 45% for the defenders. 55% of all rounds on this bomb site won by the attackers. M80 wanted to go here, so they've obviously got something cooked up. It's not like they're going here as an act of desperation. Do Liquid have the tools to deal with it? Palu and Maya die immediately by Spoit and Diffuser, so it doesn't look like they have the tools, at least at the early onset, but Resets and Nest answer back immediately. A great shot from Diffuser through the wall. Diffuser's having an excellent day. Now he has to deal battle with Resets, and Diffuser gets both. What an impressive performance by the youngster.
There's a reason they call him the Rookie of the Year. Diffuser, he's so good, Parker. This is a player that was slept on for a long time in Tier 2.
You play Castle D.
He wasn't even supposed to be in Tier 1 this season, by the way. There was supposed to be another player that joined Beast Coast in the very first stage. That player bailed last second on the team. They needed to find a new pickup. Diffuser had just won the most recent season of Tier 2, so Hot and Cold said, screw it, we'll pick up this kid. They weren't 100% on him, but then what a performance. He helped them achieve a major winning result in their first stage. Played well enough in stage 2 that they ended up getting bought out by M80. Alongside Gunner, made the move over to this new super team that was formed right before the Six Invitational. And what a performance he's been putting up now against one of the greatest orgs in Rainbow Six Siege. It is hard to shine on a roster with Spoit, Kino, and Gunner, but somehow Diffuser does it.
Here's their best player and back in map number 1, a map that they were soon to forget. M80 getting embarrassed on their own map, losing 1-7. Diffuser went 8-8. Everybody else's numbers were deeply underwater. They were searching for Atlantis down there, you see. In map number 2, on console, Diffuser was actually the worst performing player, but with how confident and dominant M80 played in that map, somebody's got a bottom frag. And if Diffuser's bottom fragging, things are probably going pretty well in a victory. If Diffuser's bottom fragging and you're losing, then things are going bad. But if he's at the bottom and you're winning, things are A-okay. Spoit ran away with that series. Close company from Kino, but ultimately, Sweet still stood on top. Diffuser making his mark here. 7 kills, leading the way on his team. And very comfortably doing so. High impact kills, high value ops. He's given the freedom to roam and make some plays. This is quite the thinker from Gunnar. Oh my.
Nice.
Gunnar jumps out. They called resets a word I don't particularly want to repeat on a broadcast, and I suspect if things go awry for Liquid on this round, we might see M80 use it yet again. No, Liquid have found their way into the bomb site. Now Lagonas with the diffuser at the halfway point, shield on his back. Gunnar in! Almost no coverage. Lagonas manages to survive with a point of HP. Same with Ness. Lagonas drops. The kill feed turning as blue as the Liquid jerseys. Diffuser is on the case right now. Is he gonna get away with it? Do they get there in time? Oh my God!
What are you guys doing? Oh my God! Yo, you guys fucking suck! Yo, shit!
Oh, he's feeling himself now, Diffuser.
Gunnar hopped on the case and did not let go, and he relied on the rest of his team to keep Liquid at bay, and despite Liquid toppling player after player, Gunnar's call was correct. M80 on quite a tear on border now.
I believe they say pros don't fake, Parker, and that's exactly what they had to do on defense. M80, yes, they let the defuse kit go down. That often happens on this bomb site, but when Diffuser sticks the diffuser, he doesn't get off. Back-to-back rounds, Diffuser is the hero for M80. What an insane stick to get on it, and I gotta credit Kino in that 2v2 as well. Didn't get any kills, but stepped up and delayed a little bit of time. He knew that it was his job to protect Diffuser as he stuck that disable. Perfect team play from M80 in the dying seconds. Liquid had so much map control. They had such a good entry. Nesk seemingly had great coverage, but at the end, it wasn't enough. Oh boy, Team Liquid, this is starting to get scary. You had such a good start, but what has happened on border? It is slipping away, and it's the rookie from just 3 hours down the road that's been bringing it back. I brought it up yesterday, Parker. I don't believe any other player at the Six Invitational grew up closer to Boston, Massachusetts than Diffuser.
Well, we still don't know where Marion is.
Yes, there's a couple players that we don't know where they're
Yaga
from.
might be close by, but we don't know. I thought Yaga was from Texas.
Maybe. There might be a Marion down there, too.
Somebody please help us. Jesse in particular. He loves to know where these players are from and sprinkle it in. The prodigy from Perth, Australia. A huge pick for him.
Only one Australian at this event.
Oh,
and
shut up.
Virtue actually didn't say where he was from. He chose not to answer, so I don't know where he is. Maybe it's from Perth.
I don't think so. Nesk and Palu have shown up in a big way in this series, though Maya has now actually surpassed Palu's total with that previous kill. Nesk is 29-17 through this entire series. He was the player to watch coming in, breaking 1,000 kills at just the Six Invitational. That's not 1,000 career kills. That's 1,000 kills at the most prestigious event in the entirety of our ecosystem. Palu, if he wants to climb the standings of his team, is gonna have to wait another round. Will have to come in the second half. Very first kill comes from the side of M80. Liquid now losing their main flank watch, losing the Nomad. It's a flank-heavy map. Those stairwells are often unguarded when an execute on this top floor goes down. Diffuser bites off a bit more than he can chew, so does Kino. But there's a desperate attempt to keep these numbers close. Gunnar takes down one. Doesn't want anything more than that, and he manages to run around almost everybody from Liquid, shouldering an awful lot of damage in the process. 4 players die in the span of 15 seconds, and no team is closer to pulling off a victory in this final round of the first half.
M80 maybe overheating a little bit in that rounds. They're clearly confident. You see them typing in chat. You see them going for these swings, but Lagonas makes them settle down. Down to a 3v3 now. Hunting down Spoit will be the first task. A couple of players are circling this CCTV room.
I do worry about Lagonas' HP, given the fact he holds on to that diffuser. Wow. Things are gonna get a little bit tougher. Maya dies in the hands of Spoit. Spoit falls away, but somebody from M80 will have to go to that bottom floor to retrieve him, and that's Gunnar who's gonna do it. Here's the thunderous footsteps above of Lagonas, but with the time being what it is, they have to get to the bomb site. That's gonna leave Packer in a very bad position. Lagonas will go for a default plant behind the A-bomb chassis. Spoit is back up, super shorty in hands. Packer doing it all himself. A triple kill for Lagonas, but the timer will do it. It might as well have just been Packer, but Liquid also need to be worried about where those other two players are. Where is Gunnar? Where is Spoit? We can't necessarily plant if we don't have any idea where more than just one of these players happen to be. Liquid will call their timeout right as the first half ends, and M80 took that first series 4-2.
And what a decision from Gunnar in that last round to leave Packer alone on site. Shows he's got some confidence as a teammate, and you might be thinking, is that the correct play? Maybe you just want to play the 2v2 on the bomb site, but when Gunnar picked up Spoit still had a nitro cell in his back pocket. Even if Packer had gone down, they had good intel in the bomb site. Spoit would have been able to nitro cell that planter, and he was going down below to make that exact play. They didn't need to in the end, because Packer was so good on the anchor. But that was a brilliant call from Gunnar, recognizing the utility in the pocket of his teammates. I think normally that's the wrong decision to leave your teammate in a 1v2 on site, but being aware of that utility, it made it the correct play. And even if that site play hadn't gone the way of Packer, they had an answer on the side of M80. That was really smart.
Are you joking? I'm gonna beat some Brazilians and then I'm gonna eat their fucking steaks downstairs. Come on. How fast? It's off D. It's off D. Remember, because D is...
Treat yourself to some Brazilian steakhouse right after. What a way to celebrate should Spoit and company prevail.
I saw on Twitter, PSG Talon went to that same steakhouse after they got their first win the other day.
We went to a steakhouse when we were in Brazil.
We did.
And I will never forget the look on Manic's face, Rob Monday, when the server brought around a bunch of chicken hearts, and he said, "What are they?" And then he tried them, and he went, "Oh, these are awful." And ever since then, whenever I'm at a grocery store and I see chicken hearts in the grocery aisles or at a butcher, I always send a photo to him just to remind him of the worst meal he's ever had.
Chicken hearts are very chewy. They're not that pleasant.
I thought they were quite good.
They were, I don't know.
If you don't like texture, you're not going to like chicken hearts. It's really that simple.
I suppose.
I think the flavor's quite rich. They're a little bit salty. Yeah, the idea of eating the heart of an animal is kind of... it's kind of sick, to be honest. Like, that's awesome. It's very metal. But...
I don't have a transition back to the game, Parker.
I was going to
really tried.
Maybe they'll be available at the steakhouse that M80 goes to, should they win. But don't get too ahead of yourselves.
There you go.
In goes the Sens gadget. In goes the smoke. In goes all of M80. They burst through the door and find 3 very quick kills. Only 1 on the board for Liquid. Spoit doing 2 of those kills himself. Diffuser goes down, Packer dies, but right now, the advantage for M80 is so big, it's all gone. Wait a moment, Jesse. Nest tearing right through them. It's all up to Gunnar outside of the building. Palu emerging, Gunnar hitting the fadeaway shot. Now rotating over towards the case to try and get some visibility on it. Palu might be able to long arm this if Nest can swing onto the door. Gunnar cannot get both. Neska triple kill. All that is gambled by M80 is lost. Liquid take the very first round of the second half.
If there's one duo you never want to count out, it's Nesk and Paulo in the clutch. I love watching Packer's face as his coach screams at a curtain.
We really don't hear much from Bodega these days. We don't hear much from Bodega these days.
Good one. Good try by Gunnar. He's been in those clutch situations before. Prior to this game, prior to Kino's clutch in round number 1, Gunnar was the only person on M80 that had successfully clutched around at the Six Invitational. He'd clutched 3 of them coming into this game, but he can't make it another in this round. The plant was beautiful. Spoit's entry was amazing. Looked like Spoit already had reservations at the steakhouse the way that he started this round, but it is Nesk and Palu, the oldest duo in the game, standing up tall for Team Liquid as they've done so many times before. Both of them on that hunt for 1,000 frags at SI. One of them hit it, the other one's well on his way. This game's not gonna be easy for M80. 4 through half, defending on border, that's great. It's not bad at all, you're gonna be happy with that, but sometimes when sides swap around, and especially when you try to go up against Team Liquid's defenses, you find that things get a lot more difficult. We're only 1 round in. M80 have shown some good attacks so far in this tournament, but they need to show some more.
Palu and Nesk are combining for 50 kills at the moment.
Jeez. Across all 3 maps.
Yeah, but I mean, maps 1 and 2 were not long, drawn-out affairs. It's not like these have been grueling 15-rounders.
Yep.
Map 1 was 8 rounds. Map 2 was 10 rounds. We are 7 rounds now into map number 3. These have been very quick turnovers in these maps, and yet the dynamic duo of Liquid is showing up. You cannot point fingers at these two players at the moment. Nesk in particular is having one of the best games he's had in a very long time. One of the things that Liquid wanted to do when they brought in Maya was take some of that pressure off of Palu and Nesk. They wanted somebody who would gel in terms of leadership, be able to help, and get kills. We found that there was a knock-on effect. Both Lagonis and Resets immediately started playing better after Maya came onto this team. And obviously, we don't need to say how it's affected both Nesk and Palu, both of whom are hitting their stride. All this to say, M80 are still the better team at the moment. So all of the compliments that we pay towards Liquid, M80 are matching them and even exceeding them round through round. And well, it doesn't take an analyst to tell you how good this M80 roster is.
They're in already, Parker. Packer taken out from top floor.
Nesk gets one diffuser, continuing his hot play, breaking double digits. Down he goes at the hands of Maya. A 3v3 is what unfolds now as Maya reduces M80's numbers by 1. Gunnar and Spoit can taste this bomb site. Gunnar almost got a good look at 2 of these 3 remaining defenders. A nice, beautiful shot into the heads of Palu! And he almost does the same to Lagonis, who survives but for a moment. Gunnar knows exactly where he is, trapped in the corner. Spoit will try for the window and gets him. Excellent coordination. Gunnar set up that play. He's not credited with the kill, but boy, oh boy, does he help Spoit to get the job done. Now it's all up to Maya, who has not refused to give up this top floor.
Yeah, and he still holds the defuse kit, too. That's the important part. He has the advantage here. They've got to contest him on this vertical angle.
No grenades for Spoit. No death march either. Only the skeleton key and 2 flashbangs for Gunnar. Maya wants to go for blows here, which I don't necessarily agree with. 20 seconds left. Now Maya has dropped. Nitro cell ripped and ready. It does not connect. Spoit survives. Gunnar looking for the coverage as Maya will tuck himself in, and Spoit tucks him in even deeper to bed. M80's lead goes back to 2 rounds. 5-3 the scoreline.
Oh my God, I didn't hear it. My bad, Sean, my bad. I didn't hear it.
Spoit and Gunnar, enemies in the first stage of this season, allies in the second, and here at the Six Invitational, well, allies just at the end here, actually. Enemies through the second, too. They really do work together in those final couple of moments, Parker. It got very tense. Even, obviously, when they got that first frag, right, the intel coming in from Gunnar, Spoit walking in for the pick, but even in the 2v1 up against Maya, you saw that Gunnar was the one who was baiting out Maya. He was drawing his attention, and then Spoit from the other direction walked in, picked up that defuse kit, went for a plant. You don't see Spoit planting all too often these days as the primary entry on this team, but he knows how to hold F when he has to. I really thought that Nitro Cell might have been the answer for Team Liquid, but it just didn't quite hit. And then at the post plant, M80, some excellent angles, forcing some really difficult decisions out of Maya. They will extend their lead now, 5-3. Team Liquid, 2 rounds separate them from the lower brackets. They are desperate to get some more round wins, Parker. They need it here at the Six Invitational.
We have an update on the B stream results. Spoilers for the next 10 to 15 seconds. Cover your ears. After BDS won a screamer of all 15 rounds on map 1, overtime is not needed in map number 2 as PSG Talon has tied things up. And now map 3 is in the cards.
Okay.
Both games will be going to a 3rd map. We are already in the midst of it. We're actually almost done it. We might be done map 3 before theirs even begins.
We might be at map 3 for a lot longer, though, Parker. Team Liquid on the defense. New bomb site now, ventilation and workshop. Kino on his favorite operator. This was banned out in map number 2. Don't forget it.
I'm going to say something very bold here. I think Kino is one of the best sniper players in the game.
I'd call him the best, Parker.
Wow. We are so in sync. Kino on 1-8 as a scoreline well below his own standards and very much below what we've seen from him so far at this tournament. They're off to the races. Gunner is in. Kino looked for our opening as well, firing away in the midst of the smoke. Lagonis and Resets have been felled, and they'll lose Nesk too. Maya and Palu dealing with an overwhelming amount of M80 players. Maya was almost killed earlier. He's living on borrowed time. In a 1v4 with M80 looking to go up to series point, and Maya finished off by Spoit. Top east, Spoit goes. He assesses there's an opening. He takes full advantage of it.
I knew what was coming, so I played Firewall. You're just so smart and cool.
After map 1 went 7-1 in Liquid's favor. That was M80's map choice. I think there was a feeling that you and I shared. The analysts seemed to share it, and I'm sure a lot of the community shared it as well, that M80 just did not show up today. They flipped the script very quickly on map number 2 and have pretty firmly been in control of Border at least from round 3 onwards. Liquid sprang out to a lead of 2 rounds and looked good while doing it, but then they faltered. A timeout was taken relatively quickly, and it has been M80 all the way since. Liquid's only victory since round number 2 came at the very start of the second half. That was round 7. Since then, M80 has looked unstoppable, and it's M80 using the clock so effectively. That was a perfectly executed smoke and rush strat. Kino wasn't even really that much of a factor, all things considered.
Yeah, no, I mean, going back to that last round, it was a kind of pinch play coming in. Spoit over towards offices, jumped in the radio window, was able to work a pick early and then a second one late. We saw the Blackbeard being brought out by Packer as he hit in through Armory and managed to find a good couple of frags. So all around the map, M80 were able to collapse into that top floor and punish the players on Team Liquid. They will head to the top floor now for what is potentially their final round in the SI group stage before heading on to the bracket. If they lose here, it will be lowers for them. They need to avoid that fate. Palu, hungry for a pick, over on East Stairs, playing on the smoke. A common operator to see in this position when the Azami gets banned out. M80 are hunting for that frag as well. They know where he's at. It is a full top floor hold from Liquid. They don't want to give up any of this map control. The opening gunfight is going to be critical in this round of Siege.
Liquid has actually drawn blood first in the previous 2 rounds, but they were trades because of the ensuing brawl that happened. Beyond that, M80 has been very successful at gaining advantages early on, and it's not just one player doing it. You got first bloods from Diffuser, Gunner, and Spoit. Maya will find the first blood in this particular round. Gunner is down, that means no Candelas. That's a particularly devastating blow. And Kino has been felled, but will be picked back up by Spoit. Liquid, when facing the prospect of elimination, seemingly level up. This is no different. A big opening for them, but M80 has shown time and time again that even when they are staring down the barrel of defeat themselves, they can turn around.
Nesk has taken an awkward spot here. He's aggressive inside of security. Uh-oh, a messed up flash by Diffuser. Resets finds Kino as well. It's all falling apart.
There's very little left of Kino. Now Packer goes too. Diffuser walking up to the Arsenal wall. He's taken out. Spoit is last alive in a 1v5. Not seen a flawless round here on Border. Not yet. We just did. I would like to issue a correction. Team Liquid wins the round flawlessly, and they're 2 away from sending us to overtime. Just as we saw on the previous map, Jesse, Liquid cannot win in regulation.
No, and I mean, we saw it on map too. When Liquid's backs were against the wall, what did they do? They got aggressive. They started making those more forward moves to try to take things back into their own hands. It was, again, Nesk and Maya, that duo shift that were roaming over towards both break room and inside of security. Maya got the brunt of those picks, but Nesk did a good job supporting, being a bit of a distraction inside of security so that Maya could work those frags in for Team Liquid, and that really did make all the difference. M80 downed early and never were able to regain the momentum in the round, so makes it a 6-4. Team Liquid just 2 away. This is as far as they got on their comeback on Consulate. Farther even, as they could only manage 3 rounds on the previous map. Now they're hoping to get 2 more to force an overtime and maybe secure a spot in that upper bracket, but it is still a long road ahead of them. Plenty for M80 to play for in this matchup as well. If they can manage to win this, they will lock in second place, meaning they get to choose their opponent in the first round of playoffs. If they lose this map, a third place is possible, but fourth is not.
I'm a bit excited at the pace that this map is going because I do want to see what happens with BDS Talon.
Yeah.
In map number 3. I'm just a fan of the game. I like watching the other matches. And even if we're not casting it, I think it's good to keep an eye on what's going on in these groups because we'll likely be talking about these teams in the very next phase.
Especially with so much on the line.
Absolutely.
APAC in a position where they could send all 4 teams home from groups. PSG Talon and CAG both still in strong spots to get out of the groups, and it is still in their hands, so.
It's a bit more precarious for PSG Talon.
Yeah.
CAG would have to have a historical implosion, they said, because
I think all they have to do is lose 2-0 to Secret.
Yeah.
That's only one game for them to throw.
I enjoy the language used there.
I mean, listen, CAG have a bit of a history here.
Really not helping on the side of positivity. Palu needs to stay positive, but Maya, where did you come from? And the head shake tells the whole story. 3 kills to keep Liquid in this matchup. Now it's Gunnar taking some damage. But Kino finds just his 2nd kill through 11 rounds. High impact. That's what you need. Liquid having a numbers advantage, but it's gone. Maya got the 3 first kills, uncontested, and both Gunnar and Kino have clawed this back. Resets and Palu are the last 2 from Liquid, the lucky 2. One could say, Palu taking damage from Kino. They both exchange words. Kino has been downed. Palu is still alive, but very weak. He might attempt to secure. Gunnar finishing him off and now can go for the retrieve. There's no way they win this, right, Jesse? There's no way M80 pull this off. Resets, almost gets it done, but there's just too much to cut through. Gunnar is off to the races. Where are you going? Where are you going, son?